Hey guys, Stefanie with Steffy Jewels, the spot for crafters, jewelry makers, and the do-it-yourselfers. If you're new to my channel, then welcome. And if you're already subscribed to my channel, then welcome back. In today's video, I am going to get ready for March because it is March. And March is Women's History Month. So today I'll be making some tumblers, or a tumbler representing some of the women that I think is inspirational for Women's Month for March. Also, it is St. Patrick's Day in March, which is on the 17th. So I decided to make a cute little tumbler for St. Patrick's Day on one of these, and then put some little words in the middle of it. Another thing March is for is first day of spring. So definitely make sure you subscribe to my channel because I will be making me some garden flags and some other objects to be ready for spring, because when the weather gets nice, it's time to do some gardening. So definitely subscribe for that as well. And Single Parents Day. I myself is a single parent, so I decided that what better way to represent National Singles Parent Day by making a couple of mugs for us single parents. And first and foremost, it is National Craft Month. So if you're a crafter, this is our month, guys. Let's get crafting. So today, like I said, we're going to make a couple of tumblers. I got these two tumblers that I purchased through Etsy, and I'll leave everything down below in the description where you can get these. And I already printed out my two designs, and we're going to do sublimation on these two. Now, I wanted to show you real quick, this design right here is an 8.5 by 11 sheet, as well as this one, 8.5 by 11. Now, I did not use Design Space to create this template. So if you want to know how to get away or get around Design Space limitation, then I'll leave a link down below in the description so you can check out how I actually created these two using another software that is not Design Space. So definitely go down to the description and check out the link below to get that free video on how to get away from Design Space and use a different software. So I'm gonna move the camera a little bit closer so you can see what I got going on here, and let's get crafting. It's National Craft Month, guys. Let's go. Okay, guys, so I brought the camera a little bit closer, and I might bring it a little bit closer so you can see, but I want to show you what we're working with right now. We got two 20-ounce sublimation tumblers, and these are the skinny straight ones, as well as a mat. Because once you start putting them in a heat press, I'm using a PYD Life tumbler press / mug press, because you can put both the tumblers and 12 to 15 ounce mugs in this thing. So I'm using this, but I want to make sure that once it comes out of here, I can put it on something that won't burn my surface. I also, like I said, I got my designs here that I actually use a different software to create these measurements, because the issues that I've seen with a lot of people who are actually starting out with sublimation, just like I am, I'm still a beginner, so this might not work. I might make mistakes, but I am a beginner. But I had a hard time working around the Design Space size limitation, which is 6.75 to 9.25. So like I said, definitely check out the description down below so you can get that free video on how to use another program to get your designs using the entire 8.5 by 11. Now, of course, you see there's some white space here and here. And I did that on purpose because I want to make sure I can trim this as close as I can to my design, because I want to wrap it around my template and get the two edges, these two edges right here, as close as possible to each other, so that way there's no line, no space, no ghosting. So we're going to see if I can get that done. Same thing with this one right here. Since I want to do it for National Women's Month, I mean, you saw like all the grace right here. I just love all these women on this picture. But once again, you see there's a little space here. I wanted to make sure that I can trim as close as I can to each other, so when I wrap it around my my tumbler, that it can actually fit without any gaps between it. So we're going to see if that works. So you'll need your image of choice. I do have a paper trimmer right here so I can trim the excess edges. I have my, like I said, my two tumblers, which I have already wiped this down with alcohol, and you want to use alcohol or a lint roller to clean these out. I actually use alcohol wipes, and it looks a little bit like this. I have a whole box of these that I just whip it up and just wipe it around each one. So all these are clean. You need heat resistant gloves, a heat tape, because you got to tape your design here. You also need protective paper. It's not necessary to wrap it around here, but I want to protect my heating element. So I'm going to wrap after I get my design on the tumblers, I'm going to definitely put this around those designs. So that way if ink does bleed out, it doesn't ruin my machine. So you definitely need some of this. And far and foremost, you do need some type of press, whether you're using this one, a Cricut mug press, which I think there's some hacks on YouTube on how to do it for tumblers, because you know the mug press only fits these size guys right here. But I have seen people use the Cricut mug press and just kind of did a hack with this. So definitely check this out if you want to learn how to do that. But I'm actually using a full wrap tumbler. And one thing that I didn't show here, that since this is a blank design, I'm actually, once I sublimate this onto my mugs, I'm going to actually put another vinyl, permanent vinyl, some words on top of my design once it's cooled off, and I'll show you how to do that as well. And as a bonus, like I said, since it is March is National Singles Parents Day, I got some cute little mugs here that I'm going to make with these cute little wraps here for singles parents. It says Singles Parent Hustler, and it got the guy here as well as the girl here. So I'm going to make 2 of these as well, so you can see how you can use both of these to blanks inside the same wrap. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and start with Women's History Month. So let me go ahead and make some space here, because all I need is one tumbler out right now. So like I said, I already went ahead and wiped this down so there's no fingerprints, no lint or hair on it. And I could just double check real quick. And you probably can't see on the camera, but this one is a holographic glitter tumbler, so it has a little shimmer to it. So I thought that'd be really cute to try that with this background. So first thing first, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of pre-wrap it here just to see where we at. And yeah, I already know it's gonna be pretty wide. It looks like some of the hairs and stuff, like part of the hair right here is gonna be cut off. So I want to get as close as I can to the middle. So I really want more of the top than I do the bottom. So I'll probably end up cutting some of this edge off, but I just really want to see where I'm gonna put this at. So right now, I'm gonna go ahead and cut one side off of the white. And the good thing about this particular design is, since there is some color on both sides, I can pretty much trim a little bit on each edge until I get as close as possible without overlapping, because you don't want to overlap. I know, I think some videos says have a slight overlap. It just really depends on your design, because if you do overlap, you might get some color being transferred. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this real quick, and just gonna cut as close as I can to the white. And you want to be very careful when you slice these things. You want it as straight as possible. And just like that, I just cut off a little at the edge at a time. So it's best to cut a little and keep measuring, because you don't want to cut it too short and it messes up. So I'm just going to wrap it here. Okay, and I know I'm still overlapping. So now I'm going to go ahead, and I want to do I'm going to do each side at the same time. So I'm going to flip it here. Go ahead and get to where you can see this. And same thing, I'm going to cut a little bit of that white off as well, because I already know that I might have to cut some of the color off. But like I said, just a little at a time, especially if you're a beginner, because I am still a beginner, guys. So I'm really hoping that I don't mess up this tumbler. And like you see, I'm just kind of wrapping to see exactly where I'm at. So I know I do need to start cutting more on the color. So now I'm going to go ahead and start cutting just a little bit of this color off. So you can see, I'm just slowly trying to get it as close as I can. I'm seeing I'm getting close right now. So once again, I'm gonna go to the other side. And as you can see, I'm keeping my hands inside of here, so that way I don't touch the outside, because I already have the outside clean. So I'm just, so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just slightly cutting off here. I'm on, like I said, always cut a little bit, because you don't want to cut too much off and then you're actually too short. So So let's go here. And this is a very slow process. You just really want to make sure you have it where you want it to be. So right now I'm getting close. You can see I'm getting close, but I still have a slight overlap. So I'm going to see, because you want your image to be tight on your mug. So it looks like I just have maybe an inch to go. So I'm just going to cut a very slight inch off both sides. And I think I'm getting closer. Because yeah, I still have a slight overlap. So let me try to cut just very little. Because now when you get to that close, I get a little nervous that I might cut too much. So I'm trying to cut just barely a hair off on this image. And let's see, slowly. And that should be it. That should be all the cuts I need. So I'm going to go ahead and put this aside real quick. And I'm only going to show you how to cut one of them. I'm not going to cut the other one on camera, but there you have it. I basically cut the sides up. I will have to trim the bottom of it because I really want more of the tops than I do of the bottom. As long as I don't cut their heads off. But that's how so far I am trimming it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish trimming this off camera and go ahead and show you it wrapped on the mug. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so I went ahead and wrapped both my tumblers and my heat press is warming up. For this particular tumblers, it needs to be at 356 for 60 seconds, pressed twice, meaning that since to get the full wrap on here, and I actually got two here, one with the paper on it, because I wanted to show you how tight I actually, I really made sure that my stuff was tight on here. My image was, I did 3 pieces here, you see 3 pieces here, and then I did 1 long piece here, making sure you pull as tight as you can because you don't want any gaps in here. And same thing here, I actually tape all around the rim as tight as I can because I don't want anything bleeding out. Same thing with the bottom. So I just kind of wanted you to see this first because this is how it's going to look once I actually put the butcher paper on it. And all I did was wrapped it, kept the tape on the same seam because when you rotate it, the first 60 seconds you're going to do like this, and then you're going to flip it that to the other side for another 60 seconds. So I wanted to have an actual guideline. So let me go ahead real quick and put this on because my heat press is about to be heated. I think it's at 256 now. Because you don't want to keep your tumbler press, oh sorry about that guys, on too long without being used. And yes, there's a little bit gap on it. It doesn't really matter because I'm just really using it to make sure that no ink blows out. That's what they kind of call the term, I think, which means like the ink will actually come out of here and onto other surfaces. And like I said, these tumbler presses are not cheap, so I did not want it to mess up my tumbler press and have ink on it. And same thing, I'm just gonna make sure that this is as tight as it can be. It's not really necessary to tape it up as much as you do your original image, but I just want to put a couple pieces so that way the paper doesn't come off. And then just the excess, I'm just gonna put it in here, and like I said, and I'm gonna put one down there so that way it's not too loose. Now, when you put this in your tumbler press or any press, it will start to singe up a little bit, but that's okay. This butcher paper or protective paper, what it's called, either way, it's the same material. It can actually withhold the heat from your press. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my gloves ready because the handle itself is not hot, but the inside is, and I just want to be safety first. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the one close to me. So I'm just gonna, I just like to go ahead and make sure this part right here is on the side that I'm finna push it in there. And I'm finna have to tape up first. And it's like part of my paper is coming up. So let me go ahead and tape that down real quick. So, and actually I'm gonna go ahead and just tape it down here at the bottom just to kind of have one of it stuck there. So let me get my gloves back on. And we're finna do this for 60 seconds with this line up, and then 60 seconds when I turn it. So inside it goes. Okay, making sure it's in the middle of it here, and close it, and 60 seconds counting. All right guys, so I got 10 seconds left. So 8, it's counting down. One thing about these tumbler presses, I need to let you guys know that it will start counting down. The actual temperature will actually count down a little bit, and then it'll heat back up. So once that beeps, you want to automatically turn it real quick. And I just flipped it, and I'm making sure mine is in the middle of this, and then do it again for another 60. So I'm gonna count it down to 60 again, and then we'll start the next one. Okay guys, so both of them are out. They're pretty hot. This one just came out, and then this one's been out for about a few minutes. And I did went ahead and turn this off because since I'm not ready to start the actual mugs yet, they said it's best to have to keep this on for so long. So I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it off. It's still kind of hot, so you don't want to be nowhere near it and touch it. So I got my gloves still on. And for what I have been watching on YouTube and learning, because like I said, I'm still a beginner, it's best to peel these when these are pretty hot. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel this one off because this one just came out. And that's why I have this silicone mat here. And once again, anything that I use in this video, I'll leave links down below for you guys. So let's go ahead and take out the paper here. Now, and right now, I'm just going to show you right now, you can kind of see the image shining through. So that lets me know that, yes, it did transfer onto my tumbler. However, I don't know how it's going to look until I actually pull it off. So let's go ahead and start ripping this off. Now, if you didn't see any ink on the actual butcher paper or protective paper, you could do a better job and not actually rip this off. But I got tons of these things, so I'm just going to go ahead and rip it off. Okay, so that is all of that. So let me go ahead and put that in the trash real quick. Okay, and now, whew, the moment of truth, I'm so nervous, guys, because this will probably be my 4th mug. Fourth tumbler I did sublimation, because my first ones did not turn out the way it should. So I am so nervous right now how this is going to turn out. But like I said, I am a beginner. We want to see how this works. So let me just take off the piece. I'm just basically using a Cricut tool here, a weaving tool. Just try to get a piece that I can rip, because I don't want to actually mess up the ink on her. Okay, so here we go. So I was able to get one off, so that's perfect. And let's see here if I can just pick a piece of this off. Okay, and start ripping this. Okay, let's go here. Okay. There's a lot of tape because I really was making sure nothing got on here. So, oh my gosh, guys, it looks so pretty so far. I am excited to see how this works. I am so nervous. Like I said, I'm a beginner still, so I wanted y'all to see it from a beginner perspective, because a lot of the people that I watch are professionals. And hey, without them, I wouldn't have got this far. Oh my gosh, this looks good. Okay. Let me just do like a band-aid and just rip it. Oh, and it got like a clean edge up top too, so that extra tape actually did work for me. I'm just kind of scared to rip too much because I don't want to scrape the paint off, which I don't think it will, but like I said, I'm a beginner. I don't know that yet, so I'm just, let's see, let me try to get this side. Okay, and just rip it. Let's see here. Trying to get one where I'm not trying to scratch the image off. So let me go here. There we go. And like I said, let's see if it's still kind of, okay, I can actually take my gloves off now because it's not as hot. But you want to make sure that you don't touch this while it's still piping hot. Okay, let's go here. Yeah, and I'm being very careful because I don't want to scratch the actual image. I just really want to take this off. And here we go, guys. Oh, I mean, one piece of tape. Hold on. One more piece of tape. No more tape here. Guys, look at this. Let me bring this closer so you can see this. I'll come closer. Oh my gosh, look at this. Let me focus here. Focus. Look at this. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. That is so pretty. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. And look at how clean that edge is. That's why I kept some of it up here. Now I do have a slight line here, but you know what? I don't care. You can see I didn't. It had to overlap there, but just look at how gorgeous this cup is. Oh my God, that came out great. Oh, look at that. And see, I don't even see it on the camera, but it has a little shimmer on it because this is a glitter cup. Let's see if I can bring it closer. It has a little shimmer, so you can kind of see them. These ladies are, yes, y'all, yes. I love that cup. I don't want to sell that cup now. I kind of like that cup. All right, so let me go ahead and do this one. This one's it's warm to touch, so I can probably do that. And hopefully I didn't let it cool down too much, because it says not to let it cool down too much because it makes it harder to take this paper off. But since I can do it with my hands now, it'll be a lot easier. I'm just like ripping it, the butcher paper off or protect the paper. They're kind of used interchangeably, so that's why. Okay, now the inside's still kind of a little warm, but the outside is not. So once again, up here I'm gonna go for the top because I know my image is mostly up top. I mean, at bottom. So let's go ahead and trying to get a piece of the tape just to rip it. There we go. Make sure I stay in frame for you guys. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, come on. Let me get my thing here again. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, sticky. Oh, one thing I like to mention too, because I know I'm just kind of ripping and not really talking on the camera. One thing I want to mention too is it all matters about the blanks you use. I have found that out the hard way, and I actually do have on my blog, if you want to check it out, steffyjewels.com, on some things that I try to do using 2 separate tumblers, and they came out. I did the same thing. I didn't change anything, but it was like the quality of it did not look like it should. So I know that, yeah, it all does depend on the type of blank you are using. So make sure, as beginners, since we're all beginning, you know, yes, you have to test out because you won't know that until you actually, and see, I think this thing's got a little cool, but it's kind of hard to pull off. But yeah, you never know exactly what the blank will do until you test it out. So I tested out first, since I'm beginning, a local shop here, and then I just kind of went to Etsy and just looked at the reviews. And like I said, these cups that I got, the little shimmer ones, I got from Etsy, and so far, I love them. See, yeah, it cooled off way too much for me. So, I mean, I can still get it off, but it's just going to take a little bit more work to do that. So let me go ahead and take this off camera, and then I'll come back. All right, guys, so I finally got this one off right here. It was a struggle indeed, but that's how it looks on the bottom, and it still came out great. I'm going to come a little closer so you can see this. This still did not come out too bad. I mean, yeah, I see some paper here, so I just got my alcohol wipe, and I'm just wiping off the paper because I didn't want to use my nails to scrape it. But yeah, if you still have paper stick on it, just use some alcohol. Like I said, this stuff is not going to come off. It's sublimated on this cup. So yeah, I'm just basically wiping off that to get any paper that's stuck on her. But yeah, I don't see any more paper stuck on here. But yeah, look how that one turned out. So that's not too bad, actually. I mean, look at the bottom. I mean, clean edges. I don't see any ghosting, which means it kind of faded. I think it faded a little bit right here, which means I didn't probably tighten that up, but I really can't see it. If you stand right here, you really can't see it. It do look kind of a little dull right there, but I think that's just the image itself. And see right here, guys, I do have a slight line. You really don't notice it up here as much. But yeah, as you get to the bottom, I do see it, but that's okay, because it looks gorgeous. Now, since I did put alcohol, I'm gonna let that one dry off a little bit, and let me get some of this mess up, because now I want to show you how to put the decal on it. So like I said, for sublimation, I could have already had the words that I want already on the cup, but I decided after I actually printed out this image that I kind of wanted some words to be added on it after the fact. So I didn't want to waste this actual print. So I decided that's fine. I'm just gonna put some words on it. So I already have pre-cut it, and it's on this masking tape transfer, and it says bad and boozy. So all I'm gonna do is that dry? Yeah, is actually put this, oops, on top of my cup, and it's gonna be on it. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. So let me move this a little closer. I'm trying to find where the middle is, where that line is. And yeah, I'm just gonna stick this on top using the taco method. Actually, let me get this so it don't roll too much. So I'm trying to find the center since I know I had that line there. That's gonna be my back. There we go. And make sure, because I don't want to touch it too much. I don't want my fingerprints on it. And with the taco, maybe you just taco and lay it here. And I actually did not put my thing up here. Oh, here we go. Need my scraper here. So let me go ahead and find a spot I want to put it at. So I'm just going to put it about right there. Looks about good. And just wrap that here. And then with your scraper, just kind of burnish this down with the B. I can't say varnish, but varnish this down. And I hope I did not look like I have some of my hair on there, but that's fine. I can pick it up here if it's not underneath that. But yeah, I'm just gonna put this on here so that way it's on there really nice. And this is another thing too. So make sure you're getting the actual 2-for-1 sublimation and printable vinyl, or yeah, not printable vinyl, but premium vinyl that you cut with your Cricut. You're getting 2-for-1 right now. So I'm just basically making sure that's on there, and then slowly just gonna pull this up, making sure it's on there tight. Just slowly, and yeah, a piece of my hair did get in there. So let's see if I can take this out, because I'm not sure how that happened. Hate to ruin it and I have a piece of my hair. Okay. Yes. Oh, that sucks right there that I have a piece of mine, and it's like a long strand too. I should have checked, make sure there was nothing on there. That is crazy that I had a piece of my hair on there. Let me see if I can get that. Oh, let me go see if I have some tweezers. Hold on. Let me go find my tweezers. Here we go. Because that is really crazy to have. I mean, came out perfect here, minus the stuff that I got a piece of my hair stuck in it. So I'm gonna have to work that one, but I'm sure I'm gonna have to work that off right now. Let me get closer so you can see it. I can't believe that's a rookie mistake, but like I said, I'm a beginner. That's what happens with beginners. I want y'all to see this. But yeah, so it's called Bad and Boozy, and you really can't see the hair on the camera. Let me see, because I really, but yeah, Bad and Boozy. So with the little clover. So yeah. So those are the two. So here are the 2 tumblers that I made using sublimation, and like I said, 2-for-1 sublimation with the actual vinyl that you can use, regular premium vinyl. And I got this design from Design Bundles, and I got this from, I think, a third-party software somewhere who was selling it for like $5 for all of this. But look how great these 2 came out. So let me go ahead and clear up my mess here, and let me show you the bonus of me doing my actual 2 mugs. Okay guys, so I'm back and I got my mugs that's already been wiped out and cleaned with the alcohol prep pads that I had. But one thing I forgot to mention with the video was on this one where I had the actual vinyl on top of it, you do not have to seal this, because once it's on here, it pretty much stays on here. And actually not most, you should always be washing your tumblers anyway by hand. These do not go into the microwave because you'll mess up the seal on your actual top. And you don't want, the paint to get off. So you should never be washing these and just wash it anyway. They should be washed by hand. But if you choose to seal your decal, then you can use this spray right here, this polyurethane spray. It's like the one that comes in a can, and just a couple of spritz on top of it. Make sure you spray this outside, not in a room. It needs to be fully, you need to have a well ventilated area. It's not necessary that you have to seal this. So just want to go ahead and put that out there. I probably will seal this since I am going to sell this on my website, steffyjewels.com. but just know that you don't have to seal it if you don't choose to. So I just want to point that out real quick. Another thing too that I didn't point out, that since this, I'm now finna start doing presses using my mugs here. These are 11-ounce mugs. You have to adjust this to fit your mug. So I have to let this cool off completely. So it's still cool. It's not hot, so that's why I'm touching right here. But you have to let this cool off a little bit so that way you can adjust with these knobs, which you can't see here, but there's 2 knobs on the back of this thing where you have to adjust it, and then just have to test and make sure that your mug goes in here. Now, I said I was going to go ahead and try to put 2 in here, but honestly, I'm going to do 1 because I wanted to keep it in the center of it. And this is the design that we're going to put on it. I'm going to do it on both sides, one on the front side and one on the left side, because since I am selling these mugs, I want to make sure that I have the right hand as well as the folks that are left hand. I want both images on here. So this is how it looks when I print it out. And this is still sublimation paper. It's just the smaller one, so that way you're not wasting your 8.5 by 11. So that's a great tip right there. If you know you're going to be doing smaller projects of sublimation or for mugs like this, then get the smaller paper, so that way you're not wasting a whole 8.5 by 11 sheet. I saw somebody use it. I think it was Tanner Bale from Makers Gonna Learn had that, and I thought that was pretty smart because I hate wasting paper. This paper is not cheap, so I got the small one for smaller projects. So once you cut it, oh, it looks just like that. I just kind of trimmed it so that way I can make sure it's trimmed close enough. And I really just want it kind of right here on my mug. So let me go ahead and put this one here on here and tape it down. So same process with the mugs. You want to tape it. And the good thing about this is it's not a full wrap. It's just basically going to be in the one side here. So I want to make sure that I do have this as straight as possible, but still pulling it tight. So just like so. So that's one side. I just want to make sure that, and actually I don't think it is straight. So I'm just gonna pull this tape up a little bit and make sure it's straighter. I'm just being very careful. So yeah, just want to make sure it's straight on there. So yeah, that will look straight. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So go over here. And actually, I don't think I'll be able to do that because I think my image is a little bit too big. So for this particular one, I'm going to have to do a right-handed one. But, okay, so here's a good one, especially for those who are trying to sell stuff, because I'm really trying to cater both right hand and left hand. If I tried to put this second one on the back to cover here, it was going to start overlapping on this one. So the only thing I can do is, like I said, I will have to, when I put this on my website, I will put a note that left hand is available, and that way if someone wants to order one but they want it for a left hand, then I can make another one and just make sure I flipped it. So I already have the image printed here, so I'm just gonna save this image. So it's upside down. Oh, that's a good tip. I'm glad I saw that. When I showed this in the camera, it was upside down. You want to make sure, because I had this happen to me before, make sure your image is the right side up. So let me check real quick. And I think it is. Yeah, it is. It is up here right, so I can see the words. And you want to mirror your image. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in the other portion of the Tumblr, but anytime you print in, you want to mirror it. So sublimation of it needs to be mirrored, so that way it can be up right side up on your blank. So that one is fine. So I'm gonna hold this one out here because I can't use this one for the back side without messing it up. So I'm gonna do the same thing again, but I'm gonna just do it for the single parent one, but with the lady owner. This is warmed up, so since I already know I had this one ready, I'm just want to double check, make sure it's even enough. Same thing, I'm gonna go ahead and get some butcher paper, and since it is a smaller image, I'm only gonna cover just that portion. I didn't really put much tape on. I just covered on the edges here because there's not much that's gonna blow out of here. I don't need to really make it tight because once I stick it in here, it's gonna clamp it pretty tight. but I just really want to make sure that no ink comes off on my tumbler, so I will do this. I'm just going to put one piece there, one piece here. One more thing too, with mugs, you only got to press them once, whereas the tumbler, I have to press once and turn, and since I'm only doing one side, I'm just going to put it on one side here and then let it press. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this in. Right now, I'm not putting my gloves on because I'm just going to use the handle, but once I'm ready to take it off, then the gloves will be going on. So I'm just going to go ahead and slide this one in. Put it kind of in the middle. And let's see, make sure the handle's there, and then close. And it's going to start counting down. So there's going to be 280 seconds counting down. So while that one's counting, I'm going to go ahead and finish prepping this one. All right, guys, so both of my mugs are actually out. So this is turned off right here. So it's off right here. And this one I just came out, so I wanted to go ahead and I took one of them off because I didn't want it to cool off like the tumblers did. So this one I already removed off. I did not turn around so you want to do it at the same time. But let's go ahead and take this one off. And once again, it's best to do this while it's hot, because it makes it easier to come off your mug. And that's why I have my heat resistant gloves on. And once again, if you're using any tool, you want to be very careful when you actually pick this. I try to pick it right on the actual image. And just pull this one off here. Okay, so I'm glad this is shown. I'm still a beginner when it comes to these cups right here. Okay, so I took them both off right now, and here's how the first one looks. I'm gonna bring this back closer. Here's the second one right here. So right now, I'm gonna bring it a little closer so you can see. Bring it down and you can see it. Get focus. Okay, so right now here, this is the first one I did. You can see that, I'm not sure you can see that. Let me make sure it's really focused. But yeah, you can see that right now that it's a little bit dark here, but it's kind of like it's fading right here at the end. And the people are okay, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. So that cup came out just fine. But this one right here, it is completely faded. So let me just bring it. It is strictly faded. So that black did not actually come out like it should. And this is definitely faded. So that could be one or two reasons. Even I should have left this on a little longer. The thing that look like there's still more of that black ink. So you can see right here, there's still more of that black ink on my actual cup. And that's okay, you know, because like I said, it is light. But since I'm a crafter, what I'll probably end up doing is I will actually use some paint. And I will actually paint these letters. I will actually make it darker here. Probably won't do nothing with the face because these are stick figures. But I would definitely probably use some paint, a paint pen or something, and fill in these colors. Since it is just black color, black paint, I'm gonna find some ceramic paint that's used for mugs and stuff to get this darker. But I'm not gonna get rid of that because, like I said, yeah, I'm still a beginner. Let me bring my camera back up. I am still a beginner when it comes to sublimation right here. And I really want you guys to see it from a beginner's perspective. So I have no problem showing, you know, the errors that I made. But like I said, it didn't come out too bad. Like I said, this one's fine right here. It's just a little bit faded. And that's what I was saying when I've been practicing that since the handle's up here, I have to probably move this image slightly so that way I get more of the heat here. And then this one right here, I think this right here is just that all my ink did not transfer over. If I would have left it in there, which is funny, I left it in the same amount of time here as I did this one. So this was the same seconds, 280, 280. So I'm not really even sure why that one didn't come out like it should. It could be just the way I had it in there. But like I said, I'm still learning. I'm still practicing. And like I said, I'm going to still, you know, use this. I mean, I could probably still sell it as is right here. But I might try to go ahead and get some ceramic paint and fix that. But let me go ahead and bring the other ones up here. And I put the lids on here right now. So that's the lids. These should be hand washed. You don't want to wash these. So yeah, the tumblers came out great. And once again, like I said, if you want to see how I actually created these images outside of Design Space Limitations, then there's a link down below. Definitely check that link out so you get that free video on how to actually do that using a different software. And make sure you subscribe to this channel. Even hit that like button, the thumbs up, the bell above there, so that we can see more videos like these, because I'm always showing you tips on how to use other software that is not Design Space. Because if you're like me, you're tired of limitations. So I do a lot of my images, and I have another video coming up soon. Like I said, since it is spring coming up, so I'm gonna be doing my very first garden flag sublimation. Never done it before, but I'm gonna do it as well. Try it out and see how it works. But I'm a beginner. I want you to see it from a beginner perspective too, because the people I've been following, they're great, they're awesome, but they're perfect. So it's like, it get kind of intimidated watching those guys who are perfect. So since I'm a beginner, I want us beginners to be represented very well on YouTube. So here's the two. I love this one, I ain't gonna lie. And these, anything out here will be available for sale on my website, steffyjewels.com. But once again, this is your girl Stefanie with Steffy Jewels, and this is a spot for crafters, dream makers, and the do-it-yourselfers. Hope to see you soon. Bye now.